On Sunday night, some of you may have noticed that the moon was red for a bit. That's because it was a hashtag super blood moon. Now, a supermoon is when the moon is in its closest orbit to Earth. This causes it to look slightly larger than it normally does. Now, the term supermoon isn't actually used by astronomers. The term actually used by astronomers is perigee full moon, or perigee syzygy. Now, this event happens fairly frequently because about every 14th full moon is a supermoon. And a blood moon is another term for a lunar eclipse. This happens when the Earth comes between the sun and the moon, causing Earth's shadow to completely cover the moon and make it look dark. Why does the moon turn red during a lunar eclipse? Well, it's because of the Earth's atmosphere. As light from the sun passes through the Earth's atmosphere, the blue light is filtered out, leaving only the red light to pass through. As the red light continues through the atmosphere, it then shines on the moon, causing it to look red. If you were on the moon during a lunar eclipse, to you it would look like a solar eclipse because the Earth is blocking the sun. So you would see a dark Earth, which then would have a small red ring surrounding it. The next total lunar eclipse will occur on January 31st, 2018. But the next one you'll be able to see from North America will be on January 21st in 2019. By the way, in case you were wondering, Wikipedia has a list of every lunar eclipse that has happened since the 20th century BCE and every one that will happen until the 30th century. Isn't science incredible? Anyway, this lunar eclipse was special because it coincided with a supermoon. However, though this is a rare event, a super blood moon does not look all that different from a regular blood moon. It's just slightly bigger. But of course, total lunar eclipses are cool no matter what, and you get to call this one super. Well, here's a picture I took of the eclipse. Yeah, that's not very good. So here's a picture that NASA took of the eclipse. Speaking of NASA and red things in the sky, another important space update comes from Mars. Scientists now believe that there is liquid water on Mars. Now, we already knew that water exists on Mars. We just thought it was all frozen in the polar ice caps. We also already knew that Mars used to have vast amounts of liquid water on its surface, possibly even oceans. But that was billions of years ago. They were recently able to identify perchlorates in the soil. Now, perchlorates are salts that absorb water. So that means that water had to have been there fairly recently. Another piece of evidence are what they call recurring slope lineae. These are dark lines that are found on the Martian surface. They get thicker during the summer, and then they get smaller during the winter. Perchlorates also appear at the same time that the lines grow thicker. This suggests that there is liquid water in the soil. You might ask, how can there be liquid water on Mars? Isn't it super cold? Well, Mars is super cold. Its average temperature is around -70 degrees Fahrenheit. However, during the summer and near the equator, Mars can reach about 70 degrees, which is certainly warm enough for liquid water to form. Plus, because of the perchlorates, we know that the water is salty, which means that it freezes at a lower temperature than fresh water does. However, this does not mean that Mars has huge amounts of liquid water like Earth does. It just has some damp soil. But this is still big news, because liquid water can mean life, right? Well, the scientific community is divided on that one. Some say that because the water is so salty, it would be inhospitable to life. Others say, because the water clearly doesn't flow all year round, it can't be that salty, which means that life could be possible. Though, of course, if Martian life does exist, it would not be like the little green men that you see in movies. It would be microbial. But this would still be huge news. Anyway, that's it for the space update for now. Like, subscribe, and come back for Emily's video tomorrow. Bye!